And we're live. Hi. Sorry for the potato cam quality. Wow. We've got nothing prepared. We let me just restart. I'm sorry, it's my first time going live, and I had plans to run it through my phone, which it decided it won't let me do. So, this is the first live stream of the Historical Fencing Guild, and I am, as always, Nick Tockard. Now, I'm going to be looking down a lot because I'm going to be checking for comments, whatever. I'm hoping that you guys enjoy this, and we'll talk about sponsors. We'll see. I just need to. We just need to get this thing rolling. Right now, the coronavirus has a lot of people scared, and I'm really going to have to clean my background up because old family pictures and this. There's no one named Luke in my house. The factor stuff came with the house, and I haven't gotten it taken down. Okay, so back to business. As I said, the coronavirus has a lot of people scared. Now, as part of the Historical Fencing Guild, for the people who are local, we talk a lot about. I'm sorry, you can hear my chickens. They know I'm talking and I sound emphatic. We talk a lot about practical strategies. So part of what we're going to do in the Second Amendment side of things that I usually don't get into too much is talk about how, as a shut-in, you can drill what you can use if you don't have the right equipment. Right. I learned years and years ago, largely on dowel rods and other things. So what I recommend is all you need to practice any sword technique is a stick. I happen to have one of my canes. Let me get back a bit. Not Bob the Skull's out. All sorts of things are out. I really need to clean this background up. But this is a 36-inch dowel. It's 7/8. It's one of my favorite lengths. This is one of my handmade canes in that I buy the dowel at Wally World. I get a couple feet. These are just 7/8 chair feet. They usually come 4 to a pack. And what happens is I like to hand carve them. So while I'm waiting for my computer to load or whatever, I usually have my latest project kind of sheathed. It'll be just off camera over there. Now, this whole rig, if it's available, would run you $2 for the dowel rod, another $1.50 for these. So you're holding about a $5 investment. I cannot stress how important what they call a 1 meter, a 1 yard stick is for poor people's survival. And I'm going to talk a lot about poor people's survival because right now something strange is happening. A lot of the preppers are really enjoying the knowledge that they are prepared for what's coming. A lot of the people who maybe downplayed that, well, they're not so engaged in this. And I'm going to pull my camera down. And the people who come back and watch the first 3 minutes of this video are going to basically love it. Now I'm looking off camera because what I'm doing is I am trying to share that I finally got this up on assorted Facebook platforms because Lord knows nothing will work right on somebody. I am looking for comments. I am looking for suggestions. I want my channel to always be both educational and a description. I can't be monetized, so Link, who's lurking over here somewhere, can't get me in trouble. That's fine. Actually, I'm going to move him. I don't want YouTube to say anything. Link's still there. Like Shia LaBeouf, he may be anywhere. But like I said, we're finding the technical difficulties. Oh, that was cool. We've got an echo chamber going, and that's pretty cool. So I'm going to say, and I'm live. And the people who come back get to see some of the goofiness that happened beforehand. And we'll talk. I'm willing to talk sword styles. I'm willing to talk just about anything. I just want you guys to have access to somebody. Now, next time, I'm hoping to be able to do this somewhere else. I'm not sure. I didn't. The mobile streaming eligibility is turning into a problem I have to deal with, and I did not anticipate that through YouTube. So that's part of the reason there was such a delay. Brian K. Morris sure makes this look a lot easier than it is. Now, I have to remember to look at the little blinking light of death that is right next to the thing, which is hard because it's rather, my camera light is disturbingly bright. Okay, now I'm just going to keep talking to myself till somebody comes on, and if nobody comes on, I'll try it again. I realized I had to reschedule it for an hour, and that does indeed happen. We're going to get rid of this because I don't need the double feed. Yes, it says I have a viewer, but I am my own viewer, which is a little sad. Okay. So, getting back to things. Where were we? We were talking about poor people. So, things are getting shady, and maybe you don't have access to firearms, either financially or because you've made choices where you didn't believe you needed them, or you're still looking for alternatives that don't involve pulling the trigger on somebody in self-defense. They're going to get hinky for a while. Now, I have been a proponent of go everywhere with either a cane or a walking stick. I have never once regretted going somewhere with a cane or a walking stick. My cane, which is out front by the door because I want where I can grab it, is infinitely useful for pulling down tall things at Walmart. It would also be useful in a self-defense course. Now, my book, The Simple Sword, does talk about techniques, and they are applicable for self-defense. But I'm not sure if that's what you guys want to talk about. So I am going to just keep on prattling for this first video. I'm not sure how long we're going to go. I'd like to give you guys at least a half hour if YouTube will let me. I did not expect the issues I had. So the next video may be more colorful in some aspects about what's going to occur. And I don't know. Let me see. Is that, yeah, see, that's a lot easier. I'm actually going to have to put something over the on light to keep it from being this really sharp, ultra bright little white light, which I like. It's a safety measure. My potato grade webcam seems to come with a really nice integrated cover and the world's brightest. I swear it would almost work, light me up enough in the dark to shoot indicator light. But okay, sorry. Other people are going to watch this. I have to have faith. We'll start. Basic things for defense. We're looking at taking historical training and using it for practical day-to-day self-defense. And of course, because I've had some problems, I don't have all my props, but we do have this. This is one of the classes of weapon and tool you can readily find. If you shorten it a little bit, it is the handle of a wooden handle of a plunger. If you nearly double the length, it's a broom handle. You need to start looking at the objects around you, and when you don't have the kind of equipment that you need to defend yourself, and how can you use that to defend yourself? This is the only way I can think of to help people be safe, is to make a video like this. If you like what I'm doing, by the way, and this is a stuttering start, it's not scripted and it's about as informal as a video can get. Consider supporting either the Simple Sword, which I will at the end of the video when I get this posted up, assuming it lets me, I will put my usual gobbledygook of links. But you can find the Simple Sword on Amazon, both as an ebook and as a paperback. I keep it as low as the printing costs will allow. I don't really make a lot of money off of that. It's meant to get the information out there where people can have access to it. I've been on 10 minutes now, and I am speaking to myself. This is great, though. This is great because you have to put yourself out there, even if it's not really, really successful. I know I'm all over the place right now. I'm kind of scatterbrained. I came into this late and hot. My dinner is sitting right off camera, looking at me. But right now, you have an opportunity. Every person, every single individual who is at home, and I lost a viewer apparently, has a chance to educate, to improve, to use this time to make yourself not just feel better, not just rest and catch up. People say binge, but you have an opportunity. And I want you to realize that. I want you to act on it. So I'm going to be posting these things, and I'm going to try to be running these things. And I'm hoping it will help. I realize I've been really, really scatterbrained. It tells me how much editing goes into my regular videos because I stutter, I stammer. But what I want from you, aside from coming on and comment, because I want this to be a discussion, I would like you guys to really think about what you do. And I've been all over the place. So I'm going to consider the 12-minute mark a break. I'm going to just pause for about 30 seconds, and I'm going to sort of reboot. And after that, because I'm letting it tick down in my mind, and I'm watching the little camera lens, I'm going to go back over, and what we'll do is we'll just jump. I'm just going to jump into something a little more interesting. Because if I talk about things behind, off camera with no one else watching, I should talk about things that are, useful. And we're past the 12 minutes. So I had promised folks I would do a review. And part of my review is this. Wow, that took up the camera. This was given to me by a dear friend and longtime guildie, Steve Clausen. And this is a cold steel kukri trainer. Now, I have personally been rather opposed to kukris as an abject idea. Obviously my background's more fencery, so I tend to like more thrusting weapons. And I'm very big into body mechanics. And one of my big problems with a big knife like this is the draw. Because one of the reasons this side of a weapon is traditionally sharp is because it allows you mechanically, you look at the mechanics of a draw, the arc makes it much easier to deploy. So if this were flipped around, it would be an aggressive kind of scimitar weapon. And the more I think about it, the more I kind of want one like something like that, just on the principle of it's cool. Then I got this thing. And I have a long-standing love-hate discussion with cold steel trainers because their knives tend to be great. Their swords tend to be baseball bats. They're not very forgiving. Bulletproof, but baseball bats. And I think a bit of that comes just from the glory that is Lynn Thompson's personality. He is somebody who I think embraces a philosophy of raw power. Raw power is very important. You watch any of his videos. And I respect that. I tend to be a little more subtle, and I'm incredibly thankful to Lynn Thompson for what he does for knife rights and making things like this. And if Cold Steel ever wanted to sponsor me, Lord knows I'd jump, because the vast majority of the time I like their products. And when they're not, I do tell you. But this thing, I realize something. This is not a knife. You're like, it's a kukri. No, this doesn't move like a knife. It doesn't handle like a knife. This is a hatchet. Now, anybody who's watched me say that this is a hatchet probably thinks I'm nuts. But bear with me. when you talk about mass weapons, these are hammers, hatchets, maces. You don't encounter those much. Picks, mattocks, things like that. Weight up at the end drives the blow forward. It gives you superior power, but it also makes maneuverability a little different. Now, Eastern style hatchets very often resemble cleavers. Okay, the Western style fat blade, cylindrical handle is not is often embraced. They like a wide blade. It's a lot like a meat cleaver. So you have this thing, and I'm playing with it, and I'm cutting with it, and I've spent some time, and I'll do another video properly reviewing this. But this is a hatchet. The weight pulls all the force forward, so it is a tremendous cutting implement. Now, as a cold steel, it's fairly light. It's less than a pound, but it flows well. And our dear friend Jim, who can't come out obviously because the coronavirus and lockdowns and stuff, can't really. I would like to see him play because he has one of these, but I've never seen him play with two. And when he comes out, he's going to borrow this, and we're going to spar with it because this has some advantages. This mechanically, this angle is going to draw a weapon in. So what I mean is, stick. I love stick. Stick is good. If I parry stick with hatchet, it hits. The mechanics of the action pull it down toward the sweet spot. And the more you play with it, the more you realize, me and pommel pairs, man, I had a rhythm there. Me and pommel pairs, but it catches. It catches and it catches well. Jim would be, yes, Trelena, yes, welcome aboard. Boy, I sound like Brian K. Morris. But he runs Rising Tide, and I'm going to shamelessly plug him on my channel like he has plugged me so many times. Look up Rising Tide Publishing. Look up that. But Trelena is joining us, and while it's not coming up, please, yes. I'm not sure about how hard it would hook. I'd really like to see a comparison, and we might do this as the next video if you're interested. Because Trelena said those against a shield would be evil fun. I'm not sure how good the hook. It would deflect, but it's still fairly escapable. I would love to pair this with one of the Trench Axe trainers. I think they would be really, really fun. And now we have conversation at least. Please, YouTube is really hating me. It took me an hour just to get to be able to stream and messages back and forth. If you have comments and you're here, please comment this, because I am just so happy to have contact. But yes, these would be great. They flow incredibly well. Do they come with serrated edges? They might hook better. I have not seen one. I'm gonna have to check around because that's a neat idea. I'm not normally a big serrated edge guy, but if the crook here were serrated, Trelena, that would be really, really good, because that would also make it a much better multi-tool. I've seen gardening machetes built along these lines, but I think if we're going to play with this thing and think about how it would be useful, imagine having the belly of the knife, which I'm not used to having this incurve of the belly. Let me get my hand up. And thank you for tolerating both my zaniness and the potato quality, because YouTube won't let me stream directly from my phone because I'm ineligible somehow. Too small a channel. We're going to fix that. So this would be serrated, and yeah, this would make this would make a great little saw. We might be on to the next survival product, right? I am actually really low on things. Oh, you know what? I got something here. Hold on. Mass weapons. This is my wife's Warhammer. Whoop. Okay, I needed something that could come out that would offset. And while this isn't normal, it's only what I have handy. I mean, you guys keep hammers handy next to your computer, right? That is normal, right? I mean, most people walk around with a warhammer that can split wood next to their computer. Am I odd? Oh well. But this really does flow, and as with the knives I get from Cold Steel, it really does seem to be the item. Thank you for the like, by the way. Whoever liked me, I've got 3 viewers and no likes, and the more likes you get, the more YouTube will be nice. And maybe if I get enough people following, they'll let me stream from my phone so I can upgrade the quality and not be staring at this little horrible blinding light. I'm gonna try to take a picture to show you how ungodly sharp bright this light is, because it's right next to. Anyway, now see, the thing about Warhammer is, again, we're gonna use the stick because I don't have a shield next to me. I have a giant spider, and he's peeping in. Yeah, I see you. I have to keep an eye to make sure he doesn't move, but this lets you catch when you hit with the haft. So Trey knows all about tangling shields. Tangling shields is a hobby. And she's thought it. We need to get you. I'm still looking for a good synthetic tortoise shell. And if not, when the world comes back, we're going to make you one. Okay? And if people are interested, what I'm talking about is a type of buckler that Trelena likes. Now, we're going to talk self-defense again, because I think that's interesting. But a knife like that is a wonderful tool for self-defense. I'm just putting things down so I don't trip over my props. A knife like this is a wonderful tool, and actually non-lethal. You can do some harm with one of these actual trainers. Maybe I can make a huge make a huge batch of resin. Yes, absolutely, Trelena. I want to see you make resin weaponry. I don't know if it would hold, but maybe we can use molding to make something. We're gonna have to plot on that. I'm gonna go back briefly to the review. I'm still laughing because, the craftiness. This is what a grip in my mind on a knife should feel like. Really? See, now I was kidding to an extent, but now I really wonder if you could make resin trainers. You just need a mold. If you know what, since I have you here, Trelena, I have a dumb idea for you. If you have some molding material, something like maybe Sculpey, and you were to take something like my little knife. Now, I am a proponent. Everyone should carry a knife, and I do lean towards fixed blades, because nothing has cut me more than a folding knife that didn't lock properly, or I mishandled in my youth, whatever. They're a good fixed blade. But if you took something like this, or were to, say, rough sketch and then cut it out, have Joey make a wooden one to use as a proxy, make a mold of a small knife, make a reasonably flexible resin material, we could test that. I would love to see it. And you have my address. So if it works well and this goes on for months and months, as long as the mail's running, hook me up, Trey. Alrighty. Now, I'm not going to try to flirt too much with people who are, only text, but it is me, and if I stop flirting, people think I stopped breathing. We'll go back to why I like this knife. First off, the grip. This is a thing Glock makers have not realized. Not everyone has gorilla hands, and not everyone has an interest in something that big. This is... I do. Okay. This fits. You see this? I can wrap my hand comfortably. It locks in. If we're going to use a traditional ice pick grip, now we're going to do a little bit of isometrics, but I can grab this and pull my pudgy little hobbit hands as hard as I want, and I can't pull this out of my own grip. The knife swell edge The handle on this, like, I would love to take this handle here and just put it on different knives. Because this grip handle is one of my favorite for, if you're not doing little slide tricks where you're manipulating your grip a lot, this is what you want. Um, since Trey is here and she's chatting, which I am eternally grateful, one, I'm going to keep this. If you have anything like a channel, an Etsy shop, anything like that, you want to plug, you're part of the guild, Mags. Plug that. Because I've never joked about plugging you. Anyhow, what we need is more grips like this. Now, we get talk knives. And I've got some moderate extremes. This is the smallest grip knife I've ever had. And I carry this literally. I put this on sometimes before I put my glasses on. My neck knife is, there was a joke running around about, do you need all those weapons? I'm a Mandalorian, yes. But this, it looks like we lost somebody. That's okay. This knife is a little tiny grip allows a complete lock-in with the thumb placement. So if you're using a more fencing grip, so let's look at the grips. This is a classic, what I would consider a fencer's grip. Okay. This lets the thumb rest on the spine of the knife and gives you it's very great for edge alignment. It's not as strong. If you lock in like this, you have a stronger grip. And if you were actually going to shank, this is the two shanks, little cheeps and beeps on my other thing, but we'll worry about it. This, due to the size, locks in perfectly for that ice pick grip. That means you're not going to be manipulating a lot of hand tricks. Oh, okay. Sorry, I had a problem where like one of my other programs decided to dominate my screen. I hope I'm still here. It looks like I am. All right. I'm going to keep going for probably an hour, and I'm at roughly the half-hour mark. I should talk about my sponsors for just a second. My sponsors being me, and you can find my books at Amazon.com/authors/Nicholas Tockert, one word. Should get you to my list of books, including Big Stompy Robots, which the quick play version for, I want to say, another 2 days is free to download as part of my Coronavirus Sucks. Download this so you have a quick, easy to play, fun mech game that, using rudimentary things that most gamers have, can play. If you like it, you know the basic mechanics, look at my other BSR stuff. The core rulebook is full-flushed. You're going to love it. I'm going to get back to talking about weapons now. But, Trelena, yes, you're still here, I hope. Write in the comments what your favorite non-firearm self-defense tool is. I'm really curious. Because I know some people like impact batons, and this is my wife's backup impact baton that is living in the study because I'm here late at night and I like having as many close range weapons as possible. I don't usually go out anymore without this one, little shorty. Now, people ask me, Nick, you carry a cane? Yes. Why don't you have a sword cane? Well, I do have a sword cane, but I don't usually carry it because if I deploy it in defense, I have to be able to justify to the police officer afterwards why I was carrying that. And they get a little funny. So usually I just use my cane, but I ran into the problem of most sword canes, and even using your cane for defense, if you're actually using it for mobility. So those who know me know I occasionally use mobility aids, canes, crutches, walking sticks. I have an assortment of knee injuries and hip injuries, and they don't know how I'm not in a wheelchair, so, God, sorry, we've got a problem. Bats are great. Yes, bats are wonderful. They also, you've got a little bit of, I'm going to play baseball. 5-10 minutes when you're not doing anything to go and put tools that might be useful in an emergency in reach. That means going with flashlights, which I always have in my pocket, or in the case right here. Oh, the light that I'm facing is about that bright, believe it or not. It's maddening. But I always have a lighter. I don't smoke, but I like not freezing to death. So I think everybody should have a lighter at all times in case your car breaks down, something goes wrong, whatever. And a stick. A stick is good. A bat is a stick with an attitude. This is my favorite carry blade. Now, Trelena's laughing right now if I were to say that this is the only blade I carry, because this isn't even the only blade in reach. Like right now, if I were to pull the closest blade in reach, it's actually a very strange one. This is my dive knife. It's on the sheath over here. Wonderful things. Nigh indestructible. I've had it for years. One of those things you just carry when you're free diving. I'll be taking up scuba when the world comes back. But until then, I've been an old free diver. And see, that's smart. I'm sorry, I was distracted. I didn't see Trey's comment. My feed is working. Cool. Yeah, candles. Candles are amazing. They provide light. They provide warmth. They don't put a lot of carbon monoxide out. So if you're in an environment like a truck, they do let you put out. They keep you warm. That's brilliant. More people should carry little like candles. I'm a big fan of. And they're not in here because I have solar light system improvised in here, which is half on right now, so I need to turn it off because there's no reason to have it running. Multi-tool, hammer, socks. The military says take care of your feet. Keep them dry, keep warm. Hot hands are encouraged. Well, see, that's because they're smart. They can't fix trucks for anything, but they at least take care of their drivers. And I'm glad to hear that. Multi-tools are amazing. Okay, you guys have been seeing me reach. I'm going to show you something. Now, give me just a second. That's not my underwear. That's my comfy shorts because I wear them. There you go. I have a little go bag. Here we go. This is a mini go bag. And inside my mini go bag, I have a lighter. I have a flashlight. I have wedged down there somewhere a multi-tool. What is this? I have this, a book ring. This was women have the advantage of carrying a purse. Yeah. She's laughing. I know she's laughing at the truck comment, but I've seen those things on fire and rolling. So everybody thank Trey. If you live in Indiana, you thank Trelena. That's this lovely person with her other self, Duo Maxwell, who pilots the second best, in my opinion, of the Gundam Wing Arrow Gundams, that being Gundam Death Scythe. Hell Custom, I will give it right, because unlike Heavy Arms, it doesn't run out of bullets. Bullets are cheap. But I say second because Tall Geese 3 for life. I'm going to represent Tall Geese 3, even though it doesn't count in some people's mind as a Gundam. It survived the end of Endless Waltz, so it wins. That bit of geekdom was off topic. Let me show you the other item I carry. I'm not going to lie. I bought this as a present for someone else, and the packaging got damaged. And I have to... I had it in with my chalk from a project, so it has chalk on it. But this is a K-Bar Tactical Spork. That's right. The K-Bar Tactical Spork by the K-Bar Knife Company. Now, actually, is it Ontario? Well, it's made in America, and it has happy little knife. That means I've got two blades on me, and I am almost embarrassed to admit how often I eat with this thing, because I end up places like you pack a lunch, you forget to pack the silverware. I've done it so much, I figure I will remember lunch. I'm a fat guy. I will forget the silverware. So if I carry tactical, I get kicked out. My tactical spork with me, I can eat. And I can eat soup and I can eat food and it's glorious. But I'm prattling. That happens. Uh, wow, I've been on for 35 minutes. This is awesome. Okay, I'm hoping this at least that I've got these laughed reacts from Trey means I've at least made somebody's night a little better, and somebody that's pretty dang awesome. So, we're gonna keep going. I just what do you want me to go on about, Max? You're here. You got your opinion on. Do you think I should start talking about techniques for using the stick? I mean, I would hope people know that by looking throughout my channel, you'll find an assortment of weapons-based things, including an hour-long abbreviated version of the complete simple sword. It's not perfect, so an abbreviated complete, but it's enough to learn the system. Gives you the basic drilling, the basic principles, enough that if you're sitting at home, you can teach some positive muscle memory and you can build up. I hope all my students and all my friends are taking some time to drill. Heck yeah, it's something that can be done in tight space. Yes, thank you. And of course, if you're using a SSO, sword simulating object, like a stick, you're not going to cut yourself. You also don't have to focus as hard on edge alignment. I'm a big proponent of the stick. The stick is underwhelming. We live in an era where, at least pre-coronavirus, knives are being banned all over the place. People will realize how important things like having a knife as a tool is. Footwork drills, wrist workouts. Awesome! There is a lag, and it takes a while for these tech things to come up. Okay, let me see how much room I have, because I didn't get to move things. I can just about, Okay, I'm going to have to readjust some stuff. And I'm checking to make sure there's nothing too offensive that would be readjusted. I need a little bit more room. Whoop. Oh. So I was looking for sword simulating objects. And I sweep the camera. And I have not one, but you can't see it, 2 foils. Cool. We're going to keep the stick, though. I need a... Yeah. Okay. I spilled something else. Okay. Not killing the camera. If I stand up, I have to scrouch just a little bit. This is a stick. Okay? This, I'm going to see if this shows up better. This is a sword. This is a foil. It was given to me by Mr. Pete Pidrak. But I can really... Hey, he's using that cane to hold himself up. Okay. If you want to build your wrist with whatever you have, be it one of these or one of these, simply get something vaguely sword-like and practice the little circles. Draw little circles. It sounds silly. Draw them clockwise. This is clockwise for me. It's counterclockwise for you. And counterclockwise. Just practice. Practice drawing big circles. Practice drawing little circles. Big circles. Little circles. Now, you want to practice because you want to be able to eventually make these lovely little C blocks. And from a fencing sword mentality, this is what lets you deflect a weapon. Boop, boop, boop. Now, why would you need fencing swords? Well, first off, anything that strengthens your wrist. Yes, we are in isolation. Yes, people are by themselves. Yes, some people have stronger wrists, but let's not dwell on that. we can, by doing this, you strengthen your grip, you strengthen your wrist. Now you see that white band on my wrist? That's because I, for many, many years, wore a wrist brace. I wore a wrist brace so much that while it held the damage that was there, the bones were actually malforming. So I had to get off my wrist brace after many, many years of wearing it because of new medical developments. And I've been doing this. This is huge for me because now the musculature is holding my arm together better than the torn ligaments. Well, they're just gone. It was a mess. So if you're looking for something, you pick up a stick, you pick up a ruler, you pick up a broom handle, and you do this, and you do this, and you do this while you're watching TV. You start getting... I thought my son was going to come running in here. You start getting strength of the wrist. Now, the other thing you can do is all you need is a bit of string and literally anything you can hang that you aren't terribly attached to. So, I have an old Mountain Lightning cup. Can. Nice thing is it has a little hanger. So, if I were to take some string, or we'll just, no, I don't want to, yeah, here we go. This will do. I'm probably going to turn around and find that I have string galore, but take some string, loop it through. I'm not tying a knot in this because this is an old lanyard. But hang this thing. You might want to put some water. You might want to put maybe a little weight to keep it from boinking. But as long as you can hang this off of anything, you can then use it as, and I've got short arms, but you can use it as a point control target. And you just practice poking. Why are we doing this? Well, when you're learning to sword fight, you need to know how to hit the target you're aiming at. This is a nice facsimile for the space you might be able to get into a lot of the time. And it literally costs nothing. Just some string or rope or an old shoestring and something to dangle. I'm going to do an advanced version next time when I'm prepped. Honestly, this is going a lot better than I expected now that we're rolling. Oh, do we need a secret word or something to lord over the people who missed this video? Well, tell me what you think on that one. But I want to talk about this foil. Now, normally I would not handle a blade barehanded, but here I got my. It gets cold in this room in the winter when I'm working on things, so I have naturally the happy gloves. But when I talk about the grip, I want to talk about the grips because grips are important. This is the basic, what I consider the basic sword grip, right? This is a very comfortable, this is French épée, French foil. Saber, you get a little more concussive, but you can see that. Now you'll notice it's very loose. This part is called the keyhole grip. And this is where the strength is. The strength is up here. I don't want to lose these fingers because I like them, but if they were gone, I could still fence as long as I had these two fingers and a nice light blade. But with them, I can do strange things. You're seeing this pop. This is a little hand job, wow, that sounds terrible, that allows me to take the sword up, and all I'm doing is popping it with my thumb. Now, when you see the pistol grips, the elaborate things, like our friend Al uses, they're all rigged to do this. Olympic fencers fight pretty much in this tangle. It's a knotted bar. It's really cool. But classic épée fights like this. And that's the word. Hand job. Okay. I really can't deny my friend Trelana pretty much anything, so Here's to you, Max. Okay, now. This is so cool. Next time I intend to have my background cleaned up or a sheet so you can't see it and other things. But being able, when you're using it more concussively, so if this were a saber, my grip is still loose. If I switch from an ice pick style grip immediately over to a fencing grip, that adds, I'm just getting the range here. Whoop, whoop. The motion is almost all in the hand. That lets you get these flick shots. Now, Eastern guys, I look on the screen and I'm laughing because all of a sudden I'm turning this into a gin. You're seeing somewhere Sword of Sage is laughing his butt off because I'm absentmindedly just like, oh, okay. The grip will let you manipulate a lot, so you want to be able to do that. Locking a sword down, unless it's a very specific weapon, which brings us back to that trainer. These two couldn't be more diametrically opposed. This is definitely, obviously, a thrust trainer. This is much more concussive. But look, boom. See how much more effective? If I stop, I can slash. Whoop, whoop. I'm slicing. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Cut the cake. But if I add just a little bit of grip thing, it whip snaps, giving much more authority to the shot. Now, when I start somebody new, I'm all about teaching calibration, the art of being careful with your weapon. And that's what the first large parts of the simple sword is about. I am currently working on, and now that I have time, it may actually get done. I'm compiling the notes for the strong sword. The strong sword is my second book, and that is going to be about understanding the art of penetration in your shots. Calibration versus penetration versus applied force. It's going to be much more concussive, much more based in the blow. You're cutting. So in survival situations, if for training, I want you to focus obviously on calibration. The soft side of calibration is I want to, like Trelane and I could take sticks, completely unforgiving. We could take sticks like this and fence at full speed, pretty much full body contact, and not leave a bruise because we are very, very good. Or very few bruises. Hey, you got new eye makeup palette. You can't be too mad. But self-defense, you might get only one shot. Now, I will teach you to throw multiples because one thing I see a lot in LARP, in SCA, in HEMA practitioners, they go from one position to another. So there's the. Let me start here. I'm going to sweep. Boom. And what I think about is what happens when you do next if you missed. You beat the chair. That's fine. Slid back. It stepped up. It got smacked. I feel no mercy for it. Now I'm having to adjust because I'm having unexpected camera angles. But we're going to go over the full rock through. Wow, I've been talking almost nonstop for 15 minutes. This is good for me. This is good. Again, grip. Why would grip be important? Learn to throw a shot. Now we'll talk about a shot I don't usually teach. The opposite. And it's off camera. Ha ha! You still can't win it. No. One thing to practice is this. This silly little, take a stick down here, or short shank it, and practice that. Because what you're targeting with this shot, and I have absolutely no idea how to demonstrate it, is a rapid snap to somebody's ankles, to the shin. There are nerves there. If you can get that pop to the shin, a lot of people will stop doing what you want them to stop doing. It's surprisingly simple. And we're going to talk about that. If survival is what you want to talk about. If you want to talk historical styles, I will say that Meyer, while popular, is massively, massively overrated in certain circles. And the longsword, while an elegant weapon, is not necessarily the answer to every combat, like some of my favorite YouTubers tend to prattle on about. And that's said with love and respect. That's why I'm not dropping names. For me, self-defense, what do you want? You want something that you can use that you're familiar with in any setting. You want something that you can use inside. You want something that you can draw and apply in a vehicle if necessary. I mean, if you have a cane, you can short shake the cane. And even in very tight corners, you can still kind of snake thrust with it. A real fast little strike. Let me get a better angle. Pop. It's the same thing as a proper thrust. It's just truncated. You know, realistically, in tight quarters, I'm more likely to grab my knife and just be like, no, 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 don't do that. I have something. I cut you. But we'll talk about swirlies. We'll talk about defenses. We'll talk about a lot of things, again, in the next video when I'm a little more together. I've got about 8 minutes left if no one else kicks on. And that's okay, because this has been completely free form. If you watch this, comment below, you know, in the chats, what you want to see on the next one. If you're here, being Trelena and apparently one person else, again, pipe in, like this. As always, please share and subscribe. And I want to take the last few minutes to say, coronavirus is terrifying. I get it. It's got globally about a 3.43 fatality rate. Okay. That means better than 3 in 100 people die who get it. America, it looks like it's settling at a much lower because of the medical response. So it may only be 1 in 100. But you have to realize for the weak, for people who have pre-existing conditions, older folks, the death rate still is sitting around 15%. That's about 1 in 6. It's a little lower, but it's about 1 in 6. And you could be carrying it, not know it, and give it to someone. That's why we have to stay quarantined. Okay. But as we isolate ourselves from the world, we must not isolate ourselves from humanity, both outside and ours. I'm thinking we have to take this time, and you can use this for escapism, and no one will front you. You can sit and binge and catch up and not think, and take it as the staycation you never had. You could take it as a time, as a gift, as an opportunity to better yourself, learn new things, practice old arts. I'm calling all you musicians who haven't played in a while out. Get your thing up, tune it out, and let it rip. You know, your guitar, your oboe, whatever. This is the time. But there's a third class of people. You can't become the person who's hiding in the dark. Now, I've gone through some crises in my life, and bad days, where you lose, times where financial things happen and you lose everything, and you end up with the blinds drawn, and you're just huddling, trying to make it through. And I don't want anyone to ever have to live like that. So don't let this virus do that to you. Ever. Okay? I'm going to be posting again. At the latest I'm going to go is next Friday. And I'm trying to keep that for my guildies who can't make it out. I know this week it got goofed up, but I'm hoping that they kick on. For those who can't, you know, let me know. Message me on this. Message me through YouTube. Those who know me on Facebook, message me on Facebook. Tell me when you want me to do a live stream, when you guys think maybe you need it, and what you want. I believe in a conversation. I don't want to just sit here and prattle about things that just interest me. I mean, if I wanted to do that, I could do that alone. But please be well. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. We're going to get through this. And in the coming days, I will be giving as practical instruction as I can. I just have to rearrange this whole room so I have room to use my rather persnickety computer to make it work. Okay? So I will be here for you guys. You be here for me, and we'll all get through this. Now, if you want to support what I'm doing, I do have a Patreon. And if you look up the Historical Fencing Guild Patreon, look for the little boot. It will be there, and anything you can give helps me keep this going. This was given. This was a donation. And I do love donations. But most of my training gear that I use, most of what I carry, and the video equipment I normally use, has been bought with my Patreon money. I have 2 patrons right now. I love you guys both. It's Steve Augusta and a fellow who keeps changing his Patreon ID name. So I'm going to assume that fellow likes anonymity. If they don't, let me know and I'll fly flag. But consider that. Consider any of my books on Amazon. And whenever I air these, as long as people can be civil about it, plug what you do, especially if it's related to this. I want to know, and I want you guys to have an extra platform. It's getting close enough. I'm not going to ride this turkey down. And I know YouTube gets a little funny after the hour-long stream time, so I think at least for my first one, I'm going to call it here. You guys have a lovely night. Stay safe. And as always, I almost did it. Support your local swordmaster.